And welcome back, or welcome for the first time, to A Filthy Talk. Today, I'm Trevor Gemma.
Today you're Trevor Gemma?
Yeah, most days I'm Trevor Gemma. Some days I'm not. But yeah, today, I was going to say joining me, and then, anyway, doesn't matter. I'm Trevor Gemma. You know me if you've been watching the show. Joining us again today, we have, I was going to go to you, now I'm going to go to you. Christopher Livingston is to my right, not to my left, and to my left is Alain Williams joining us for the first time. Who's a writer and performer here. And to Chris's right, we have again, Roz Young, backed by popular demand.
Yeah.
We can try all of that again if you want.
Yeah.
No, we can't. This is
I'm
live.
sorry, what? It's live?
Yeah, this is live. Yeah. That's okay.
No
Whose
take back.
idea was this?
Ah,
We
whatever.
say that here every day.
Yeah. Every time. Every time. 100%.
So, first things first.
The beer.
Yes. And today, we all happen to be drinking the same beer, which is cool.
Yeah.
I'm cheating today, I guess, because typically I would be drinking low-carb stuff.
Worth
But
it.
I'm sick of it. So,
That's fair.
so this is a...
Today we are drinking a Four Winds La Maison Saison. So this is a Saison beer. It's
French for beer.
It's French for beer.
French for beer. Beer. You can fact check that if you want.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, and Ryan.
Hey.
We're getting off to a great start today.
What day is it?
Yeah, so La Maison Saison.
La Maison Saison.
Okay, well, I mean, we should all just take a sip.
Take a sip. Tell me what you think.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's tart but refreshing.
Yeah.
It has a really nice balance between the sweetness and the just hoppy flavor that still comes through.
Yeah, I'm really digging this. This is such a nice...
Nice change.
There's flavor in this beer. This has got the level of hops that I really enjoy, but since I can taste true bitter, I can't stand really hoppy beers that have been... typically, if you put the hops in and boil them in, then you're going to get a lot more of a bitter note. Dry hopping usually results in something that I can drink without... And this is great, because I get the floral notes of the hops. There's a sweetness to this that I really like. There's a tiny element of sour that's really good. I could drink a lot of this.
Yeah, that's fair.
And we will.
I'm not the connoisseurs that you all are, but I do like this very, very much. Like, it reminds me of summertime, and I know that a lot of people feel like 2020 is a wash right now, but drinking a Four Winds Saison in particular, just I can't tell you particular taste, but I can tell you that it reminds me of all the other times I had it in the summer, in the
there you
past.
go.
So yeah.
I mean, I would argue that 2020 has been the year of drinking beer.
Oh, yeah.
Beer
lot
is
more.
killing it.
Ooh, beer's doing real well right now. A lot of drinking happening.
I mean, I actually drank, in lockdown, I drank a lot of hard alcohol.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
just where I went.
I really like a saison. I like hops. I like what I would say is more flavor in a beer.
Yeah.
But
fair.
I quite enjoy this. It's really well balanced. Four Winds is a great brewery. These guys have done a phenomenal job with this. It's really smooth. You're right. It's very light. It's just
Yeah, it's
refreshing.
sessionable.
It's an
It's great.
enjoyable beer. And to let you guys know, on taps here today, we have
Switched it up.
Yeah, we switched it up. We have Deep Cove's Method, which is a pale ale. So that's on here. That might be a little bit less in your wheelhouse,
probably.
but
I might get up and leave.
also
and go
very,
get more
very
of this.
tasty. So yeah. All right, but that's the beer. We're
fan.
enjoying the beer.
Yeah.
Cheers to you.
Cheers.
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 Here.
Cheers.
What are you drinking, Ryan? Is that like Coke?
It's a Jack and Coke.
A Jack and Coke.
It came in a can. It wasn't beer.
Came in
I
a
hate
can.
beer. I can never be up there because I hate beer. So I'm over here.
You don't have to drink beer up here.
Jesse had White Claw last night.
Yeah.
I
Everyone
can
is
be up there.
welcome.
And Leah was drinking water. So
I like
That's actually more disturbing than-
a Jack and
sign.
Coke. It's what I think of when I imagine fathers not paying attention to their children.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it tastes very good.
It's like
So just
when
imagine
Daddy
that you're
puts
all my
ice in
children
his
and I'm
glass,
not.
and he gets mad.
Jack and Coke to me tastes like a bar fight.
What are our topics today?
So basically, we're just going to explore the world of video games today.
Oh, you fucked up.
Yeah.
You fucked up.
This is a good one.
You can tell by my shirt and your shirt and your shirt. You didn't
there
get
you
the
go.
memo?
That'll-
No,
out.
and my shirt.
Oh, what is this?
And my shirt. So this is a weird one. This is like
Yeah.
a deep cut.
I was gonna ask if it was a deep cut.
My friend is a vaporwave star, and he makes like art T-shirts and fashion where he takes an image from an old video game, records it onto VHS, takes a picture of that staticky VHS, and then prints it either as art or on a shirt.
What are we looking at?
Yeah, hold
then?
on.
So I can't actually say what game this is. It's probably from the Final Fantasy franchise. It's a
I can't tell.
VHS
Wait.
stills. It's called.
The-
Yeah, you can see the profile of a face from the cutscene of a PlayStation 1 game.
Yeah, I was wondering if it's a FF7.
Or
I
E, yeah.
cannot tell.
Yeah.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, that's nothing to me.
Audience,
Yeah.
do you know what Alain's shirt is?
Yeah, if
Send
anybody
your
out there
answers in.
recognizes that, let's get a good, can we like get a good shot over there? That if anybody
is that?
recognizes, write in the comments, write to
Here,
us, let us know.
VHS stills or R23X is the name of the artist, and take a look at their stuff. It's the video games if you want to be subtle about it.
It's a really nice way to say pretentious. I like
Yeah.
it.
Oh, and we're off.
So video games. Hot topic right now is we are quickly approaching the holiday season of 2020.
And
where
they
we are
promise-
going to
Not
see-
that quickly, but you know.
Oh,
slow it down.
It's like 12 weeks away.
Oh God.
Yeah. So I know, right? Or 12 episodes. And this season we have two new. The next gen is coming. We're getting the
Yep.
PS5, the PlayStation 5, and the Xbox Series X. Which Xbox, fix your naming convention.
Yeah, what's up with this?
We
What
go
are
from
you
the
guys doing?
Xbox to the Xbox 360 to the One, and now to the Series
Series
X.
X.
It doesn't.
Especially because they went the 1X.
Yeah.
Now it's
yeah,
the Series
1X.
X.
It went 1S, 1X, Series X. Like,
Yeah.
figure it out.
Which, in fairness, or not even fairness, I don't know why I said that. That's the wrong word. Why? What was up with the 1S and then the 1X? Like seriously, you released the 1S and then it was like, oh no, wait. Here's a slightly better version for full price again.
Well, the S was, I had an S, it got stolen. If you're out there and you know who you are, and you knew that you were robbing me, never let me know who you are. So I had an Xbox One S special edition with a 2 terabyte hard drive. Anyway, but it could play 4K discs, but it wasn't native 4K, and
Right,
then
and
the X,
X
was
was.
native. Yeah.
Could you just make it right the first time?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Are you talking to Microsoft? 'Cause
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, PlayStation's guilty of it too.
No, that's true.
PlayStation and then
Well,
the
usually
Pro.
they just like slim it down.
Yes, but this time they went PS4,
Yeah.
PS4 Pro.
It's like the new one, the 5 is all like, I'm sexy, but I have weird angles.
Yeah.
It's so curvy.
It feels like PlayStation dipping their toe into whatever Xbox has been up to this whole time in regards to like the shape is gonna blow you away. Like I can't care. It just needs to be
which
playing
is-
these games right.
Okay, so that's funny because Xbox obviously just made a cube, like a here you go. Here's a box and it plays games.
Yeah. And now it's the.
Don't they know that nerds are really scared of cubes? Like, we're scared of cubes.
Yeah.
Cubes are always scary.
We
Do
need
something
shape.
more.
You find cubes scary?
Cubes are very scary.
If you're a Star Trek fan, then yeah.
Yeah.
Or you like the movie Cube?
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
Also, have you
terrifying
tried a Rubik's
Canada.
Cube?
But the Series X is more vertical, right?
Well,
Like
it
it's
is.
a big.
I
Rectangle.
don't know if you guys have seen the Corsair. The Corsair 1, I think it's called. Yeah, the Corsair 1, right? And it's a mini gaming PC, but it is literally that. It is just a box tower, and it's the exact
okay.
same. They look almost identical,
Oh.
except the Xbox is actually more plain. So
I like the fact that, because you told me earlier that the like futuristic look of the PS5, those panels are going to come off and you can customize it.
Yeah,
that's kind of fun because when I bought that Xbox One S, it was the Gears of War 4 special edition, so it was red and it made like a when it started up, which was fun.
For like the first 2 times?
No, every time.
Okay,
No, it didn't do the tip. It didn't like do the
would
red
kill
ring
it.
thing. It just kept doing it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Every time you turned it on, it made that noise, which was fun. And I'm sure some asshole out there is enjoying it. He probably sold it. We'll talk about it later. It's okay. I need a therapist.
just chugs.
But like, I like the idea of being able to customize something after the fact, and not just like have to buy a whole new system if I want the cool look.
I mean, customization is big in the gaming community.
I was gonna say,
People-
Trevor loves to get cosmetics.
Yeah.
What?
You know, when we're dwarfing. Your dwarf
Oh.
looks amazing. You thought I meant like
I've
cosmetics?
had no work done. This is au natural. Oh, by the way, you may notice I look different.
Yeah, you shaved.
I shaved. Yeah, that's
No work, but
that's my level of cosmetics. But you know, you're right. Yeah, Roz and myself and Alex, who's behind the board on this, and Matt and my brother Casey and Trevor Adams. We've all been playing a game called Deep Rock Galactic, which is super fun. It's only on PC. No, it's also on Xbox. I've not played it there. I've been playing it on PC, which is unusual for me. I am a console person. And you're space dwarfs, super fun. And the cosmetic skins are fun. I'm trying to make my character in the game look like my character in our upcoming D&D show.
In our upcoming D&D show.
Yes.
we're not allowed to say too much about
Too much about that.
No.
But that's interesting. So,
I'm getting close.
You touched on something there. You are a console gamer.
I am a console gamer.
Console.
Console?
A mix for sure. PC
Mix?
and
Yeah.
PlayStation.
Yeah, I would say I'm 50-50.
Yeah.
It would really depend on the game. If it's
Console
if it's gonna be
exclusive?
visually stunning, I need to play it on a PC. I want to see the most out of it that I can because PCs are just more powerful than most consoles. So I want everything I can get out of that game.
There was a blip of time, and I can, by whatever year it came out, I can tell you what time it was. Star Wars, what was that game? It was a first-person shooter where you played as the clones.
Oh, Republic Commando.
Republic Commando. So Republic Commando was like, I had, at the time, a PC that could keep up with whatever was coming out.
Yeah.
But that's the thing that took me away from PC gaming, was the computer needs to continuously be upgraded to keep up with the games that are coming out. Like, way too frequently.
I suppose, but like for someone like me, and I like building PCs. I'm a big,
Yeah.
I like modding. That's fun for me. Oh, there's something.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Tear this apart. Let's put this in now.
But aside from PS4, PS4 Pro, like those upgrades that happen,
Yeah.
like you can still play every PS4 game for the whole run of that, which is typically a few years. And if you're a hardcore PC gamer that has to run everything, as you said, like I want it to be as pretty as it can be, then you need to upgrade your graphics card constantly. You need,
I mean,
like,
you've seen my tower.
yeah, I know, but there's like a financial and ever since like what's it called, Bitcoin and stuff, like
Yeah.
mining that drove the
Yeah.
price of that even higher. So there's like a financial gatekeeping to PC gaming and being at the forefront of it,
Yeah.
which is kind of upsetting.
There are games that I associate with the PC, and I would prefer to play them on the PC. I'm a big fan of RPGs of most kinds, but like the top-down isometric RPG, your Baldur's Gate or
Okay.
your Pillars of Eternity and things like that, I associate that so specifically with like the PC and that kind of thing. And
Yeah.
like MMOs, I think, is another one. I'm
think
not a big MMO cat, but I associate it with being on the PC.
There's a bunch of us who like to play World of Warcraft,
Yeah.
and if we're going to play together, I mean, everybody's on PCs, and yeah, I mean, there are people who are,
Can you play that on?
No, it's a PC only.
Yeah.
but there are definitely people who are limited in, you know, they have to turn down their graphics, turn down a bunch of the stuff to have the performance ability so that they're not lagging during combat or whatever. But, you know, I found I was playing it on a laptop when I started, and I was able to make it work.
Yeah.
Well, and the funny thing about that is, for me, that kind of a game, playing the MMO, playing World of Warcraft, something like that, it was never about the graphics in that game.
Sure.
It was about playing with my friends. For me, specifically with my brother. Like that was we live across the country from each other, and so we would meet online, and that was our hangout time. We get to hang out online and do something together, and that was like always our thing. So it didn't matter about the graphics. It just was about, hey, let's get together and run around and talk shit.
I think the kind of hurdle for me was that I never set out to build a gaming PC. So I can enjoy those games, but only to a point, and I'm not going to invest the time or money to do that. Originally because I couldn't, and now that like I maybe can, I'm like, yeah, I don't know, right? It's like,
Okay.
it's like even in MMO, which is like specifically designed to be playable on as many platforms as possible, I'm still like, okay, your characters look like boxes holding a box that I'm meant to interpret as an elf holding a sword.
That's not that bad.
And I'm still like, motherfucker, why doesn't this run fast? And it's like anti-aliasing. What the fuck is that? How come I have to turn this off? Like it's always been that one extra hurdle, whereas console games have been in my life for my life, and I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, and I'm only this far, by the way, only there, and it just comes in the box, and they give you the games, and
Well, you have to buy the games.
You have to buy the games. Oh, are you saying you don't have to buy the games on PC?
You just said they give you the games.
No, yeah. Oh, you buy the games, right? But it's like I don't need to buy a specific game and then go, oh, can my PlayStation 4 run this?
No.
Right?
Although
sometimes they do like toe that line.
I will say that everybody's on even footing there. You all know, if you're all playing on a PlayStation, you all know, you're all looking at the same image, it all handles it the same way. You all have the same thing. So
I do want to clarify one quick thing. You said MMO a few times. For those who don't know what that is, it's a massive multiplayer online game.
And there are many versions of that.
Yeah.
We mentioned that we play World of Warcraft. What do you main?
Oh boy.
What do you mean?
Oh man, right now?
I gotta ask.
Yeah, no, I mean I have a lot of different.
What's come on, like what's your main character?
My main character is actually a paladin. Oddly enough, a Draenei paladin.
Words.
Sorry.
Go on, a Draenei paladin.
A Draenei paladin. I would say it's my main, but it's my main right now because I started back at 0 and I've worked it up to level 72, which is, even that was a grind.
Yeah, I think I'm at 76. I'd never played it until lockdown, and then I started playing World of Warcraft for the first time. I made a half elf or an elven.
Elf.
No, dark. What are they called? What are the
Night
dark?
elf?
Night elf.
Night elf. I'm a night elf sorcerer, I think.
There you go.
I don't know. I haven't played it since
Mage.
like Isolation.
Yeah.
And it was I went from 1 to 76.
Okay.
And then I stopped playing because I found out that I thought that's what we were all doing.
Yeah.
And then it turned out that
Kind of were.
everyone was
Oh, wow.
playing at like 130 or whatever it is. So I like made another character, boosted him to that level, and I was just like, eh.
The problem with boosting a character, like jumping to basically the end,
You don't know how to play it.
You don't know how to play the
No,
character.
you haven't figured out what works better.
Yeah, so that makes it tough.
But
yeah.
But as far as what do you main, does it have to be World of Warcraft?
No,
'Cause
let's just, I don't know, what do you like?
I've been playing DC Universe Online since launch because of you. Like, this guy showed me DC Universe Online when it first came out, and I was like, what?
And I bailed.
You can make your own superhero? And I got hyper addicted, and,
yeah,
you bailed like 3 months in.
Oh, yeah, I did.
You were just gone.
But in fairness, at the time, the people, and this is an issue with MMO. So this is one of the biggest issues I have with MMO. The community there, the people I played with, were not fun to play with. They were way too hardcore. They would get angry at me when I was like, oh, you got to be here Thursday. We got to do this thing. If you're not playing twice a day, you're not.
I had a guy threaten to choke me, and I was like, how are you going to choke me?
Do you know where I live? No? Fuck off.
You're in America.
People online are so mean.
People online are the worst.
They're so
Yeah.
mean.
They're very mean.
Not all of them. I play with a really kindly old lady.
When I started Battlefront, I was like, this is so fun. And it very quickly became
Point of contention there.
Yeah.
We're online right now, and I would say we're all pretty nice.
Yeah.
I mean,
Solid
you
point.
don't know me.
I do know you, Alain, and you're a very nice
You know
man.
work, Alain.
You're
We
a
don't
very
really
nice
know
man.
Alain.
Yeah. Well,
Have you
know,
seen us when we game, though? Because
It's different.
Roz is
No,
a
it's
very
him.
different person.
If you don't know, watch Headset.
Yeah.
I'm nice.
Check
Have
that
a
out.
sketch
I
about-
only yell at Trevor sometimes.
But I main, no, I welcome it. I main a troller or a controller in DC Universe Online. I have many characters on that game. But Hoga Shikaji, I'm out there. I've been there since launch.
Usually it's a character in World of Warcraft. But so do you tend to like characters that run in? They are tank-like.
So I created,
Yeah.
at the time, everyone was like treating controllers as just batteries. Like, where's my power? Where's my power?
So like a healer.
But yeah,
Kind of.
for
Energy.
your energy bar, not your health. I can't heal for shit. But I can heal myself, but that's about it.
Clerics.
Still a cleric.
Anyway, so from the get-go, I've never changed class because they came out with a whole bunch of different like power sets, and I've stayed tech the whole time, with gadgets the whole time. Mentored by Batman. I made a story for this guy.
Okay.
He's mentored by
I
Batman.
love that.
He's a
I
ninja
love
going
that.
in, and he gained the power of flight, and then he mentored under Batman and learned how to use gadgets and stuff. Anyway, so I'm nerding out really hard
Keep
here.
going.
There's a
but
fan
I've
fiction
always-
coming, I'm sure.
I have always referred to him as a battle troll. So
Okay.
not only is he, I can buff power and I can debuff enemies, but I also do high damage and always have. Like you'll have your DPSs as like your top damage, and then me, and everyone's like, "How the hell is the troller's damage so high?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?"
So that's why you play a cleric in D&D. You like to do both.
Yeah, it's kind of my
makes
thing.
sense.
What do you mean?
I don't play MMOs.
Oh, you don't play MMOs, so
Yeah, yeah.
you main first person or not first person, one single player game.
Yeah, I'm a big single-player RPG guy.
Okay, so
sorry.
I'm just curious. Based on that, what's your favorite game?
Oh, I don't play that game. I don't have a favorite game. I just have a game that I play too much of, and then other games I don't play enough of.
That's fair.
I find that when I started in like the RPG world, I was like a preteen, and Final Fantasy was kind of the thing. This was before I played D&D and understood the parallels between Final Fantasy coming from D&D and D&D kind of like being informed by those things, like in that kind of exchange. I just
We have the same exposure then.
yeah,
Because
like
RPGs like JRPGs are my RPG gateway.
yes,
And I haven't played anything until here.
Yeah.
So-
And it's that same vibe, but those are games specifically telling the story of a character that like they've written that story. Now I prefer games where I create the stories of the character.
Like what?
So like you look at it, like a lot of like Elder Scrolls games or like
okay.
other like Bethesda content, your Fallouts and stuff.
Did you ever play Fable?
Yes, I did.
Are you excited for the new Fable?
No.
What?
It's because
I am very much so, yes. Excited. For the new Fable. I played all the Fables. I love Fable.
I don't know if I've ever seen Ryan look so excited.
No, Fable's amazing. I love it.
it's because Fable is more. It's like it touts itself to be bigger than it is, and I find myself hitting the invisible walls quicker. Whereas with those other games, I am more satisfied.
Are you that kind of a game player, though? Like, are you an explorer type where you will look for those?
I'm not talking about like
Walls?
necessarily like the literal invisible walls, but if I try to build my character a certain way, like if I want to play like a caster with a sword, a monk with a this with a that,
Oh, okay.
I find that if I reach a point where I can't do the thing I'm imagining in my mind, unless someone comes up with a mod or what have you, then I'm like, nah, right? I kind of, and that's what, I reached that point too quickly in most Fable games. I liked them going in, and then I just kind of fell off of them. So like I'm not gonna say I'm excited for it, but if it proves itself to be something past that, I'll fuck with a Fable game again.
So are you excited for Baldur's Gate, the new one that's coming out?
Hell yeah.
I mean, I haven't played a Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm,
I do not like the Baldur's Gate game.
Oh, okay.
If you're playing with D&D, if you're playing D&D now,
Yeah.
they are holding so true to that pen and paper engine, like the 5th edition engine, and only adapting it where they have to turn it into a game.
I don't know if this translates properly. So this is where
we were talking about this last week.
Yeah, this is where this falls apart for me a little bit because I really do enjoy. I love playing D&D. Like that's a ton of fun and everything like that. But when I'm playing a video game, all of a sudden it switches on you a little bit, right? First of all, there's restrictions built in here that don't exist in the way I would play it if Roz is DM and where now I'm restricted.
Well, and you're restricted in responses with something we mentioned last week. Like it's like, can you either say this or this or this or this? Like usually there's at max like 4 options of what you say.
So
so
it's just the kind of thing where I find it limiting and in the way like there was another game very similar to it that was big amongst a lot of people who enjoy that kind of game.
Sure, like the Mass Effect games or the Knights of the Old Republic games and stuff like that.
Mass Effect I liked because it was designed to be more linear.
Yes.
And I think the problem is where some of those like Baldur's Gate fell apart for me was they tried to take a very non-linear idea, apply just the bare bones of linear storytelling, which only restricted you in a way that made me feel like I couldn't play the game I wanted to play. Whereas something like Mass Effect, I know is a linear game. There's linear storytelling with the ability to make certain choices that are going to change some outcomes, which ultimately, spoiler alert, change nothing.
I think there's some games that do a really good job of disguising that you're just on the train tracks of this game, and the story is going to happen the same way no matter what. But some games are so fun that you forget that. I feel that way about Uncharted. I have such a fun time playing that game that I don't care that I'm not really, well, I mean, I'm going to die a bunch of times, but Nathan's not. He's fine. Well, but
also
I have so much fun, it doesn't matter.
Your choice doesn't matter in that game. Like, there's so many games I play where choice isn't really the thing that draws me to it.
What's, Tennis Wood. What's the name of that game I've been playing? Detroit Become Human.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Like a digital interactive novel of
essentially, it's a choose your own adventures, but the choices matter. Every choice you make, and you don't get a chance to. You can't take it back. You can't even. If you go to the start menu, there's no replay.
It's like a choose your own adventure.
That's it. You made that choice. It continues.
Play the Telltale like Walking Dead games.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's like limited.
Yeah, and then at the end, it would always show you like how your choices compared to what everybody else, and so it's like you let that person die. You're a monster. Only 11% of the other people made the same choice as you, and you're like, oh, everybody else figured it out.
In Detroit Become Human, you make a choice. You go through a level, let's say, in Detroit Become Human, and you're following the story of like 4 different people. So, and the cool part about that is there's times when those 4 people are in the same moment. And so you're actually playing all 4 people and making choices for all 4 people.
Yeah.
So you do this whole thing, you get to the end of that level, and then it shows you, here's the choices you made, here's all the possible choices you could have that are blanked out. You don't know what they were.
That's wild.
So you're just like, oh my God, there were so many things I could have done. I have no idea where that would have led.
Unless you play it again.
Yes.
So I had a question about this prepared that was in the same realm, and this is this just lends itself. So when you have games like that are super story driven, it's not really a run around, shoot 'em up at all.
No.
Do you think that the way that there's evolution of gameplay and what video games are and what they can be, coupled with like virtual reality and how far that's evolved, do we think that there is a future that we'll see that video games replace traditional film and television?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Replace is a very strong word.
Or outweigh?
I mean, like
They already outweigh.
I mean,
look at the market.
Like financially, yes.
Financially, it's a bigger market.
But like more people know how to watch TV than how to play a video game.
And I guess I'm thinking viewership,
Yeah,
not
like-
and participants.
Okay, yeah.
Let's say.
I suppose, that's fair. I guess you could look at it that way. The one thing I would debate here is that the reason I would say it will never outweigh it is because of just what you said. There are more people who know how to watch TV. So there's times when I want to play a game and I'm into it, and I am very story. I love stories. So I love Detroit Become Human. I love getting into it. I love that aspect. And but there are times I just want to sit down and watch something. I
Yeah.
don't want it to think.
Sure,
And I don't
but
think
what if those exist in like, as technology advances? Like, okay, so my parents, they're not exactly gamers at all, but I got them a Wii, the first Wii, and they got super into the Wii. So Nintendo's been
mom
really
liked
good
it.
at, but Nintendo's been really good at. They realized they couldn't keep up graphically and do the same thing that like Sony and Microsoft were doing.
Yeah.
So they decided to go super innovative with their consoles and the way that you play. Like, and what?
Sorry, Ryan had his hand.
Oh,
I was just
Point
going to say, to provide you some additional context, what you're talking about here, I believe this was in 2019, the global games market generated $152.1 billion in revenue compared to the global movie feature film box office revenue of only $41.7 billion.
Sure. Okay. So money's
We're
one
shutting down.
thing.
We're doing something different.
No, but that's the thing.
I am so
That's
into
just
it.
the thing, and that leads into a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
Financially, that is winning. So it might. They're going to have the
they kinda-
funds to develop the resources to build new things that maybe are more approachable, more accessible for audiences that aren't gamers. And there's VR things that aren't games but are just experiences.
But I guess like that already exists. You even have the ability now to watch. You can put on a VR headset and watch something in IMAX, as it were. So
Sure,
it's a
yeah.
big screen through your VR headset and somewhat experience that. It didn't take off. It didn't become a popular thing, and mostly I think that's because. Why do I want to sit down and put on this whole rig? Oh, here's your rig. Make sure you all have your rigs. You got your heads.
Yeah.
It was the same thing with like the 3D television.
But that's just
Also,
where we're at. What if it gets to
Virtual
like
reality makes me hecka nauseous. Like I can't wear it
Okay.
at all.
right.
Same point then, is that's where we're at now. And virtual reality, when it first started being a thing, it was like
Sure, when there's a
really
chip in my brain.
wireframe and no, but what if we get to holodeck levels? Like they're already working with like augmented reality,
Yeah.
which is as simple as like through glasses and stuff. But what if you're actually in a hologram projected
mean, that's-
environment and you're watching an experience?
They shoot films and TV like that now.
Did
That's
they-
how they shot.
So we're close.
But the only
Wars.
problem that you're not accounting for is the breadth and depth of human laziness. So,
I get that. But like right now, VR is not necessarily accessible because even for like PlayStation, you have to have the
Yeah.
console and the headset. You have to have a badass PC and a Vive to get like the
Yeah.
best experience. But if it gets to the point where video game technology and they're just like, we have all this funding, why don't we create something that's marketably accessible to everybody? We can get market saturation that you buy this thing, you put it in your house, and you have a controller like a TV. You don't even need a TV. And you boop, and then whoop, in real space, a menu comes up, and you can experience
sure.
your
I
shit
mean, I
through
guess
that.
if that becomes a thing one day,
I don't think
maybe
we're that
that's
far off of
possible,
that.
But
I think that's where we're going.
I think we're farther than you might think, but
Yeah.
I also, I mean, like, but I'm not entirely against it. It's like when they asked people like who owned like cassette stores and like they would sell like vinyl and cassettes and CDs. Are you afraid of the download market? And they're like, no. It's like I'm not saying there's no way it will happen, but I have to acknowledge that we are where we are,
Yeah.
and I don't see what it looks like. I can imagine what it would feel like. I just don't see the steps that we take
Get
to make active entertainment as commonplace as passive entertainment.
I think we're getting there, though. Like, we're starting to
here's
bridge
an
gaps.
Like,
an
I'm
interesting
hyped,
question that it goes with. What's your favorite console?
PS4.
PS4?
Ooh, it's my PS4.
I own a PS4. Are you asking like
Of all time?
Like,
No,
like
so
of
what's
all
your
time?
favorite console that you could play right now?
I have a PS4.
Yeah. Okay. It's not even about what you have. Just like what would be like. But nobody here mentioned the Wii or Switch.
I have a Switch. I have an
No, I
Xbox
get it.
One.
But do you remember when the Wii came out and everybody's like, "Oh, this interactive sort of thing is great,
No,
Wii
okay.
bowling." And how long before everybody's like, "I can bowl like this"?
I think
Yeah, that's true.
that was super annoying because I would be all out and everyone's like beating me and they're just like, you need to get up off the couch, you idiot. But no, fine, you're just winning, it's fine.
Yeah.
My big comparison for that it actually makes your point that I got really frustrated about is I loved the Wii U. loved it. The Mario game that came out when you blow across the screen to make things like clouds will rise up, fucking magic. It was amazing. You know who played the Wii U? Me.
You.
That's who played the Wii U. And so when you're like, what are the next games coming out? This is so fun. And then you're like, they're like,
Yeah, we're done with this. Here's the Switch.
It ain't you.
Ryan?
I was one of like 7 people who owned a Sega Dreamcast, so I know exactly. What you're talking about. I even had the little there was like a little mini console that went into the controller, and you could like download things from your games onto this weird little Tamagotchi thing that you could like take with you.
Oh,
it was bizarre, but I loved
Yeah,
it.
the Dreamcast failed because it was notoriously hard to develop by third-party developers.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it was actually
Third-party
the most
support was terrible.
advanced system
First-party
at the
support
time.
was incredible.
And
Amazing
had
Sega
incredible games. Like it was like ahead of its time
Yeah.
by that much.
Yeah.
Like it was like they like the PlayStation 2 is my favorite console, and it's standing on the shoulders of the giant that is the Super Nintendo for me. Just in regards to like the volume and quality of the games. I'm not talking about like the engine and the room. I just mean like this feels good.
this is engine for you?
Vroom, engine. I don't know how to drive.
I like it.
But yeah, like but the Sega Dreamcast was so close to hitting a lot of those benchmarks. Like there are so many games that have since been like ported to other consoles or need to be ported still to other consoles that like if you go back they are just the best. I'm looking at you, Sega, port Jet Set Radio Future, or I'm coming after you. We are all at home.
I also want to see an update of Panzer Dragoon, since we're calling out Sega.
Yo!
Panzer Dragoon
There you go.
from Sega Saturn. Get me a new Panzer Dragoon game.
Beastmaster.
Okay, wait. So you're talking about
New Beastmaster.
I mean, Altered Beast?
Altered
Altered Beast.
Yeah, I want a full 3D. But okay, sorry, we strayed way off.
What was your first console? Because you're talking about all these.
ColecoVision.
First console, the NES.
Sega.
We had a really old
My
Atari.
dad was staunch against Nintendo.
Wild, Dad.
Wrong.
Well, my dad was all about the engine. He was the one who looked and go, no, this is the more powerful machine. This is the better machine.
Did you guys?
Wait, what did you have?
Sega.
Like a Master System?
My first system was the
Sega Master
yeah.
System? Oh,
Were you guys also the house that had the beta? Like.
I mean,
I don't think so.
no? Then
think so.
that would attract.
Yeah, it would attract.
What was yours?
We had an Atari. My dad used to like to fix things, and
It's a really great way to start. Yeah.
But yeah, we had these like controllers that didn't have tops on them, and so he cut like old pieces of baseboard and put them on, and so they were like a little piece of wood on the top, and you could like turn it, and it was like, this works. Sure, we don't know what.
Did anyone else play ColecoVision?
No.
Yes.
Like with the knob and the
Yeah.
number pad?
My
Like at a
grandparents
homie's
had it.
house.
Yeah. I learned to play, I was really young, and I learned to play blackjack because of that system. It was my favorite game on there.
Wait, if we're gonna talk about gambling things, we should.
Ooh.
Wait. Okay, go Ryan.
I was gonna ask, did anyone ever own any of like the weird consoles? I'm talking 3DO. I'm talking Atari Jaguar. I'm talking.
I had a friend who did. I had a friend who had everything.
Yeah.
So I would just would go to his
Oh.
place because it wasn't happening.
Was it
I
Chris?
remember a friend who had like a really weird system. Of course you did.
Did anyone?
Turbo,
That's what's saying
Turbo
he had a Jaguar.
Graphics.
Of course you did.
TurboGrafx 16, baby.
What was anyone there a couple years ago when Soulja Boy tried to launch his own video game console?
What? Kept trying.
I'm only hearing about this. now.
Okay, so
Soulja Boy's- Soulja Boy
it was
is
just him putting his name
On crap.
on like a knockoff console and the whole like thing,
utter crap.
like the marketing push was it can play any game from any console. So clearly it was just a pirate emulated emulator engine, and he was like, "Yo, it's the Soulja Boy console, y'all," and I'm
Everything
like,
that
"You're
that
going
man-
to jail."
Everything that man touches is garbage.
It's called bootleg.
Bootleg, dog.
Bootleg, buy
It's
it
your shit.
on Amazon.
But like I saw it, and right away I was like,
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to steer things back to just a quick thing with the PS5 and the Xbox Series X.
Right. Started there.
What are you guys most anticipating for next-gen gaming?
Games?
Yeah.
Like titles or patents?
Yeah, titles. Well, I'm sure, and aspects. Like, what is the thing that's exciting you for this
I'm really excited about Ratchet and Clank, and I'm really excited about a new Horizon game.
Oh, Horizon, what is it,
Horizon's
Forbidden
great.
West? Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm also like, I'll only be able to give input in the PlayStation world, so someone else should take the.
Have you already
Xbox.
chosen your side? PlayStation is where you're going?
I hate the sign.
I mean, in the eventual video game wars, where it's gonna come down to just PlayStation versus Xbox. With like the poor Nintendo people will just be decimated.
Xbox?
No,
No,
Nintendo will.
That's not true.
No, Nintendo will
Nintendo
continue
is
to
small.
innovate.
They're small
Sweden,
and they're
like,
really
it's-
nice,
No,
and
but
the
they-
Xbox people will hurt them.
What Nintendo did so well was they found their market. They found their niche market,
Yeah.
certainly the children's market, and like
Families.
playing to that families. Like they knew their market. to
Children,
go
families,
to.
and like older people. Like I
Yeah.
said, my
Oh, no,
parents and when so when you were talking about the Wii,
But when you
my-
have kids and old people in the eventual war,
What war is this?
But yeah, I don't know.
PlayStation versus Xbox,
controllers.
you pick sides.
Okay, don't like.
Damn you.
I can see
down,
the
left, right,
the
God damn it.
perspective. I see where you're coming from. I think that like Nintendo makes a splash every single time,
Yeah.
and it works for them.
stop.
Like there's a reason why for a few months people who didn't fuck with video games couldn't stop talking about Animal Crossing, New
I am
Horizons and stuff.
still
It's like
about to go home tonight and then harass Alex
I'm
and
all about
Marshall and you and
Yeah.
everyone. What kind of price you got on turnips tonight?
Yeah.
Because I'm desperate to
Right?
sell turnips.
Like,
who's got?
I'll
good
check my
turnip
prices. I haven't even got access to the stock market yet, but I will. But I can still check my prices.
Yeah.
You haven't
I
been
get
to
it.
my island yet.
I have not been to your island
Yeah,
yet.
you should come over. It's
Oh,
decent.
boy.
I don't have
I'll
much.
bring you stuff. Wait,
But-
okay.
but-
So yeah, Nintendo, great at that market.
I think Xbox will
Sure.
disappear.
Really?
Well,
I don't think so.
But no. Here's the thing.
There's some
It's
diehard
my
Microsoft.
only argument for this, like the only
take.
reason it could stay around is because they've managed to, and I don't even know how they're necessarily pulling this off, but they pulled a certain amount of components together for a reasonable, or what is expected to be a reasonable price.
You know what?
We don't know what the price is.
You know what it is though?
But,
It's people like me. It's the console gamer versus it's the gatekeeping of the PC
but
world.
it's just a PC, and
No,
every Xbox
it is,
game
but
is
it's a
available on
PC
PC.
that you don't have to like. Oh, I need a new graphics card because I can't run this new game.
Sure.
Like there's just this overlap that console gamers accept this like certain number of year turnaround of having to buy a new system to
Before they get
thing,
better graphics?
versus like a year or 6 months or just because this new game came out I need a new thing like.
Well, but that's not how that works. It's not like this game came out and now I need a new graphics
That's
card.
what stopped me.
No, but it's not like. Regardless, you're still playing on Xbox level, let's say. So like this is the graphics card level of what the Xbox is, so that's what I'm playing on, and this is what my PC is, and it's at the same level. We will stay at the same level if I wanted to. I know I'm going to get the same graphics. If I wanted to do better, all of a sudden, I got a bonus this year, and I can go out and I can get. Now I can, if I wanted to, upgrade my graphics on a PC. So now I have that opportunity. I have the option. I can still play with a controller.
And I really like
I don't
when
have to play keyboard and mouse.
Matt and I play Borderlands together a lot,
Yeah.
obviously. Couch co-op if we're doing it on the PlayStation, like literal sitting on the couch being lazy people. Or we're on our computers where we like to play as well, and we'll still play Borderlands. We have bought multiple copies of the game. I know we're crazy, but we'll be on the computer, but I'll be on my computer, which is sort of like, you know, a hand-me-down from old Matt parts and, you know, Frankenstein together. It's fine. And it works, but I've got it set to graphics that play well for me. But then I pop over to do something on Matt's computer, and I'm looking at his game, and I'm just like, oh, is this the way it could be? It's so beautiful. Also, a giant monitor, and he's got his, like, all his stuff is super high-res, and it looks beautiful. And
But if
there's
you
like,
feel that way, why don't you bite the bullet?
I don't know, because then when I get back to my station, I'm like, this is fine.
Is it the financial gatekeeping thing?
I don't know, or it's like an effort thing. I don't know what it is.
yeah, like it's
Because we talked earlier about people are lazy, and so I'm just like, it works good.
So that's okay, but that's why I think consoles won't go away. I think.
Oh no, I'm not saying consoles will go away.
I think the Xbox will
think
because
Xbox
all
will
of their
go
people
away.
would just be PC gamers.
PlayStation has managed to keep themselves at the front line of gaming while staying separate from like Xbox is just like they are PC. They are just PC, and you can go one or the other. And I think that that's the thing for me that makes it go like this next gen. I'm definitely going to get a PS5. I don't know if I'm going to get an Xbox because
I will because
I have a
of
good
exclusives.
PC and I can just,
That's the
But,
thing about
like,
it is there's the exclusives. So
Yes.
what do you play on Xbox exclusive that says I need an Xbox because I need this game?
but they're all
Gears
available
of
on
War.
PC. But you can play it on PC.
Gears
You
5.
can play
actual
Xbox
Gears of
games
War
through.
games?
You can play Xbox games on your PC.
Typically not right away.
Sometimes.
like
if you're
Gears
trying to
of
use
War.
a Game Pass, not right away.
No. But even I don't do that. I buy the hard
Yeah.
copies of Gears games, especially the Steelbook edition.
So you
But-
don't you are an Xbox kid, but you don't have the Game Pass.
No, I'm a PlayStation person.
Oh.
But I've made
You like the
sacrifices
wine,
in life
not the
so that I
bottle?
will have all the systems. I have gotten to the point where I'm like, do I need to eat or should I get the Xbox as well as the PlayStation? Like
Word.
I can't judge you. We also have both. But
Yeah.
like,
I've got enough KD to last me a month. I'm all right.
I've
Let's
got
do
them
this.
all. I do it. Sapporo Ichiban, thank
Okay,
you for
but-
getting me through the hard times.
fair enough. It's
I will
2020,
say-
no judgment.
I
Like,
will
do what you
say
gotta do.
This episode brought to you by.
Yeah. But I think for me is that I'm more excited about the PlayStation because
It's got a
of what
way,
it's doing.
but it's got a way better title promise. Like there's only 3 games that I care about coming out in the Series X, and there's like 20 announced for the PS5. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna get that first.
Yeah, that's fair.
Ryan,
A great question that came in from the chat was, what was the one game that like you just gave up on because it was too hard?
Too
Like,
hard?
have you ever just like come across a game
got
like
boring?
Contra or whatever?
how
where
far
it was just
back?
like this game
back
is
do we
a
go?
better person than I
Final
am.
Fantasy
I
VIII.
just-
Last Action
Fuck
Hero.
that game.
Hey.
Oh,
hey.
I did the same thing. No. But the Final Fantasy VIII had scaling enemies.
Yeah.
So if you,
yeah.
because I got to the point in those kinds of games where I would like scab up or rack up, like just where you're just grinding to gain your level before you progress in the game. And that game, if you did that without advancing and getting new gear, the enemies also increased in level. So something that you should be able to beat relatively easy early in the game, if you leveled up like an asshole like I did, then you'd go out and fight a low-level enemy, like beginning of the game enemy, and it would just kill you in one hit.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to me.
That was what I got.
Did you make the same mistake?
Well, because I'm a completionist. So I like to go around and do everything, and I'll do everything in an area before I move on to the next area.
Cheaper.
So,
the
yeah,
system
and
beat us
so-
both.
Yeah, and so I'd end up in a spot every time where I'm like, I can't beat this, and there's nothing else I can do to get, like, if I get stronger, they get stronger, so what am I supposed to do here? And
I think, okay, here's a thing that I have come to understand. I might be wrong, but I have come to understand it. It's just what I learned through playing.
Okay, this is a safe place.
Oh my God, thank you.
It's just the entire internet.
Thank you.
It's
Yeah. Is that like there is? I don't know if there still is, but there certainly was a tradition in Final Fantasy games. I can verify from like 7, 8, and 9, probably a little bit in 6, probably a little bit in 10, but 7, 8, and 9 for sure, where the desert dungeon is a middle finger jabbed into your eye. And like most people I know who quit a Final Fantasy game that was developed for the PlayStation 1 quit at the desert part of that game often, like all the time. So for 8, you were in a prison and you had all of your equipment taken away and it was like harder, blah, 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 blah. In 9, you had a choice to make where you had to split the party.
Don't split the party.
The game's like split the party. I like how you haven't played D&D long and you're still like PTSD. Don't split the party.
Split the party.
And yet, I like how you guys split the party every single fucking time.
That was I was always against it.
I was always for it.
That's because That's because I'm an expert. I know how to break the rules correctly.
Well, it's funny because 9 is the one that I blew through that game.
So 9 had a part where the desert dungeon was a castle that had an anti-magic field in it. And I think all the monsters were anti-magic, and they don't warn you about that before you go. And after you make the choice is when they offer you a save point in the game. So I was like, oh, I'm clearly gonna pair this guy with this guy because he casts magic on his sword and they're super strong. And this person casts magic and this person casts magic. This is gonna be hard. They're gonna go here. And as soon as I did that, I was like, I need to start the game over again. So
did you run off one save file?
I was young.
Okay,
It was the 90s.
so Final Fantasy VIII was the game that made me go, okay, every certain amount of time, multiple save files. Just like okay, if I fuck up, then I'm gonna go back this much, and that's acceptable, and always be changing save files.
When games started to count how many times you save, and in order to make you feel bad for saving too much, me and my friends were like vets from Final Fantasy days, and we're like, nope, fuck that shit. Level up your character, level up your spells, level up your attack, and level up your save. I'm level 99 save.
Prior to an MMO, there was a thing that used to exist that tracked your number of hours in DC Universe Online.
Yeah,
and
that's terrifying.
It disappeared.
People started to feel like shit.
I had played in actual 24-hour days over a year and a half worth of time, which was bleh. But prior to that, Breath of Fire 3,
terrifying.
Your save file kept track of time, and at 99.99 it topped out.
Yeah.
And then it just stopped counting, and I was like,
Thank you, game.
God.
Because
I kept keeping track, and I played an additional 30 hours.
I want to throw out a different thing there because I feel like, I don't play games like Dark Souls, and I have tapped out of. I'm still on the Witcher 3, Wild Hunt boss fight, the very last one. I'm stuck there with Matt, and we're kind of like, meh.
Well, we're good. We're good.
We made it to the end, right, guys? Huzzah!
The game that made
I'll
me.
just watch the video.
Game
But
that
I
made
want
me.
to say that the thing that we tapped out of recently is Overcooked, because the Overcooked should also be called, oh hey, you're single now.
What the hell is Overcooked?
It's the cutest little game on the Switch where you have to run a kitchen together.
Oh.
And it's I need to chop the fish up, and you're gonna make rice, and we're gonna make sushi and serve some plates. No, we're not. So we played the first few levels.
That's great.
And then we were like, well, one of us is gonna have to die, or I don't know how we're gonna get through this. And we were just like, let's just no more game. That game is just
put the game away.
The game that first made me tap was Last Action Hero for the Super Nintendo or something.
Maybe,
that era,
yeah.
I think. It's notorious as I think Batman Forever as well.
No,
those were
tough.
Those two games were practically impossible.
I will say, games that I tap out of now are NES games.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
because your skills suck now?
Oh my God, they're hard all of a sudden.
It's not so it's not that they're hard all of a sudden. They were always hard. We just had more time and more persistence. Yeah. But the people who developed those games, they often did it based on the old arcade development trope was make the game impossible so you feed it coins. And then they would just port those games over. So those games were meant to be fuck yous to children.
Yeah. Lots of people talk about that old E.T. game, and we did find a copy of it and play it on the Atari.
Yeah.
It's impossible. It's impossible.
Yeah, there's impossible games.
I went to LTX last year. And one of the things they did really well, so this is Linus Media Group's convention that they do every year, although I guess not this year. But
they really needed the plug, so it's a good thing that Chris plugged them.
They did not need the plug. It was more just to say who they were. But what they did that I love is that they actually had this whole section where they set up all of the all the generations of gaming and computers, and you could play on them. You could go onto an old and play on this old ass computer and play a game on there, and it immediately brought back that great old feeling of I'm gonna throw this thing out of a window. You know,
they had chords. Hey,
I get serious stress response from hearing Mega Man music. Like as soon as it starts to play, you're like, I start to sweat, and you're just like, okay, yeah.
Because it was so hard. It was like you have two options. Yeah. It was like move forward or back and jump, and you're just like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Like I'm moving, I just keep dying.
They don't even develop games with a game over screen anymore. You just die and then come back and keep going. Going. I think
kids aren't allowed to have that level of disappointment anymore.
I mean, no. Like I don't mind it, but I do like the idea of being thoughtful about baking in the consequence of death in a game. Like I think I actually appreciated Fable. Because that was a game that touted that you could customize your character to look however you wanted, blah, 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 blah. But then if you died, you got a scar. You would come back right away, but you got a scar. And there is nothing you can do in the game to take the scar away.
It's like botching.
Right? So
rolling a high percentile.
Right? So if you die a lot, you get lots of scars and you look cool, but if you want to look like a person who doesn't have scars, you have to not die. You have to be good at the game.
I have a hard time with that in Star Wars games where if you go onto the there's light path and then you're like, I'm a Jedi, whatever. But as soon as you start to take dark path stuff, and I'm like, but wouldn't I be beautiful? I'm evil and I can get it.
That's not the nature of the Force.
No, I want to be beautiful and evil. Why can I not?
Because that's that world.
I don't know.
There's that world.
I don't know. I think that there's actually a balance there, but it's like, the deadly beauty is always like a...
No. With the Force, if you get... The more powerful you want to be, the uglier you're going to be.
Because you mentioned Knights of the Old Republic. And when you play...
that was the game where that shit happened.
Yeah, and you're just like, I'm going to be good because I don't want to be so covered in scars and gross. Yeah. But at the same time, I tend to do light side stuff anyways. I'm a Hufflepuff. I'm going to make those choices, of course.
While I have, I guess, the time and attention of a portion of the internet, we talk about BioWare often, and we always mention, if we're talking about, the early Baldur's Gate games, we're talking about them. If we're talking about the Knights of the Old Republic, we're talking about them. If we're talking about Mass Effect, and we can talk about Mass Effect, we're talking about them. But we always skip over Jade Empire, which is the missing link between Knights of the Old Republic as a play and pause turn-based action RPG and a straight-up action RPG with hardcore RPG menu elements, which a lot of games became. Jade Empire is the missing link, and it's the dopest because it takes place in a fantasy kung fu Chinese world.
Oh, it's right up your alley.
Super fucking dope, and they won't make a sequel. Hey, Electronic Arts, you own it? Make a sequel.
Whoa, if we're talking about those sorts of things.
I know. Look me in the eye. I'm sorry.
Gotta let Ryan go
Follow-on
first.
question to that, highly relevant. I am looking at Jade Empire right now, and it looks dope. But on that subject, did you bring your nunchucks? And
I did not bring my nunchucks. I was going to for the purposes of production of a thing, but I didn't.
Because this would have been your moment.
I know. Listen, it's not about me. It's not about the chucks. Just make a sequel.
Okay, so we're all like, what do we want to see another game of? If Portal could make another game, I would be very happy. So
I have
please
not
do
played
that.
it.
You didn't even play the first one.
I own both, and I haven't played them.
Funny thing is that
You're not allowed to dwarf again if I see you log in and you mine
can't stop
a
me.
single piece of gold.
You try and stop me.
Alex, make sure Trevor doesn't log in.
No, the hard part is the games that I would want to see sequels of, they're definitely going to make sequels of. So
Landstalker.
I can't think of what?
Landstalker.
You get to say
Casey
one
would
name,
back
you're
me
going,
up on
okay.
this. Landstalker was on the Sega Genesis. It was an RPG. It was like it was a top-down third-person thing, but it was like tilted, like Q*bert style, like on a
isometric.
Sure.
Yeah, not straight down.
No,
right side,
like
but-
at an angle, like if you took a chessboard and put it in a diamond shape.
Yeah.
And it was this really cool 3D style graphic. You just played as this like weird little elf dude, and it was a single character RPG that if they were to modernize that, it would probably be dope. Anyway, yeah, Landstalker would be awesome.
All right.
Sequels?
No, sequels. I got. Honestly, I
Shining Force.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head that I would want to see a sequel of because most of the games they're just.
I could do with a reboot or sequel of the Legacy of Kain.
Ah, it's interesting.
Yeah, like the Soul Reaver games were like surprisingly kind of in depth and well written, very like tabletop RPG converted into like an action video game. They almost made a sequel or like a reboot of it, but then it got fizzled, and a lot of people who developed it then went on to use the mechanics they were going to use in that game in the Lord of the Rings, Shadow of
it's a good game.
Mordor game.
Gets boring, but good game.
Yeah, but it was that like that basic engine, like the Nemesis engine and like kind of hunting and stalking was
cool.
going to be in a Legacy of Kain game, and I could use a new one of those, I think.
Oh, I was throwing out Portal. I'd like to have another.
Oh, another Portal, right? Sorry, you did.
I
say
also
that.
I play all the Lego games, and they
I
are
got
super
really
fun and cute.
fair.
So I would play Lego anything that just make more Lego games.
One thing I will say, because there's a difference between sequels and reboots, and I am way more accepting of a reboot of a video game that because we've gone through such evolution of consoles and everything, we've gone from
Like the Final
8-bit
Fantasy
all the way to
versus-
yeah, like the Final Fantasy remake was amazing.
Yeah.
Even though it's only the first like 3 hours of the game turned into this massive game, I love it.
I have opinions about the end, but we don't have time.
Yeah. And I'd love to see Final Fantasy VI or 3 in North America turned into that style of a game. There's a lot of old games that I'd love to see just completely reimagined. Even something like I mentioned Shining Force. I don't know if you guys ever played Shining Force or Shining Force 2.
Yeah, they were great.
It's turn-based tactics style RPGs. Amazing storyline, so much fun to play. And I'm playing Gears of War. I just started it. Gears of War Tactics. And there was Final Fantasy Tactics. I love those tactical games. They're really fun. Ryan, you have your hand up?
Do you remember a game called ActRaiser? It was for SNES generation.
ActRaiser.
Honestly, one of my favorite games of all time. It was like a sort of like top-down isometric city builder, and you were this little like cherubim dude that was like trying to like restore the world, and then like you'd go to these different areas while you were like building your city, and then you had to do like a 2D side-scrolling platformer thing. It was such a cool game. I love the idea of like combining genres. You don't see that a lot anymore.
Yeah,
yeah,
me at City Builder.
Oh.
Just loving
City Builders are a
building
great
games.
fallback when I'm really not wanting to get like, I don't want to do too much work. I don't want to have to think too heavily. I just want to like, you know, I love a good City Builder.
I play a lot of Civilization.
Yeah.
You do?
So does Alex. Yeah, I know. You log in, I'm usually playing it. I'm achievement hunting in it, so I.
That's fair.
why. Yeah, I'm just like I will kill this thing and get this thing. But I think there's something about those games, especially turn-based, where you can walk away from it, which is so different from a lot of the other games we play, where to walk away
It's like
is
every
a huge
turn,
setback.
every turn's a save, essentially.
Yeah, you know, like when we're playing Deep Rock Galactic, it's just like, well, I can't really get up to
Can't
use
even
the bathroom
pause.
right
Yeah,
now
like
because-
we're in it till we're gone. Ugh.
But there's something really nice, especially playing a game where, if you take a break, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, remakes of video games, so much more appreciative of those than of movies, because typically they're just not really adding much. Where completely reimagining things in new settings is great. I know we are out of time, but I have to say a thing from earlier. You were saying that Nintendo might not last. Or someone said something. About
I said-
Nintendo.
I said that
Process.
Nintendo's not going
It
to make
wouldn't
it in the
survive.
eventual war.
Oh, you
where
said that.
All the
Okay.
PlayStation people fight the Xbox
So
people, and the Nintendo people just get caught in the middle.
They'll just be on an island having a blast because they're all fun-loving people. I was at
Building houses and catching insects.
yeah, I was at E3
Don't worry,
a couple
guys,
of
we
years
play
back,
Overcooked, we're fine.
and at E3 the Nintendo section was never empty. Like you could get in anywhere else and like figure out get an angle into like I'm gonna play this game and that kind of a thing. But the Nintendo section was just a sea of people.
Yeah.
Like it was like a mosh pit. Like I was just like, okay, well I'm never going in there.
No, they got
and it was
hardcore
always
fans.
like
They
that.
they are ride or die.
And they're
that
innovative
is-
as hell.
Yeah.
Like they just keep trying things. They had since the Wii, the Wii U, that weird cardboard thing. What is that?
Nintendo Cardboard.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant, by the way. It's
brilliant,
That was
but-
brilliant.
Who the hell came up with let's incorporate cardboard into video games?
Well, but it wasn't even about incorporating cardboard. It was like
It's a learning experience.
it's a learning
It is.
interactivity, and that's the thing that Nintendo did so well
So they're-
above anybody else. Is that
Brilliant
interactivity.
innovation.
And they innovate in regards to concerns of ableism, but also like I have friends who can't play video games, like they just didn't, and now they can't because they can't hold a controller, be it arthritis or whatever issue. They can hold the Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons. Fine.
That's a really good point. I worked with a research group that works with UBC who studies video games for rehabilitation for children, and particularly kids with cerebral palsy, or just other movement-related conditions and stuff. And they talk a lot about the Wii as a access point for people to have, whether the statistics are supporting like it really being about the game or just the motivation to do more of your activities. It's they're still working on all that kind of stuff, and it's really new field because it's all changing really fast right now and really interesting. But yeah, you're right. The products from Nintendo are doing a really good job of reaching out to markets that are family oriented, kids and adults of
people who aren't
your
gamers,
parents and
essentially.
my parents. And
I was trying to say a thing about my parents because they could kick my ass at Wii bowling, and they would always get up. They never got to the lazy point. My mom would always get up and stand and do full
That's way more
bowling
of an our
form.
But it's kind of
Yeah.
a gateway
they
to
were bowling
creating
300s.
monsters. Ask Matt sometime about my mom became an expert at Mario Kart. And now she's a monster. She's a monster.
Monster. Okay, we're well past. We're overtime.
Really?
Yes. So
We
clearly,
didn't even get into. There was.
oh, I know. I have cards of things that we didn't get anywhere near.
Throw them in the air.
So,
Bring me back.
For Cyberpunk 2077.
oh, yeah, we didn't talk about Cyberpunk. So Cyberpunk 2077.
Delaying it.
You know what? Maybe we'll just talk about. Oh God. So clearly.
I haven't, but I'm about to,
Yeah.
and I want you to say no.
Clearly, we have a lot to say about video games, and I know that a lot of other people in the company are very passionate and have a lot to say about video games.
Shannon's really famous at EVE Online.
Yeah, it's true. Shannon's famous. She's like got a lock on that. Anyway, so this is not going to be our last episode about video games. We're going to see different people.
No.
We're going to keep getting into this. So for those of you who enjoyed this episode, there's more coming. For those of you who didn't,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. So until next time, please like, subscribe, share, and stay filthy.
Yeah. Cyberpunk 2077.